Let me tell you something that will sound absolutely crazy. I'm 82 years old, and I'm healthier, stronger, and happier today than I was when I turned 60. I wake up without an alarm at 6 a.m. feeling rested. I take 0 prescription medications. I walk 3 miles every morning without getting winded. I play with my grandkids without needing to sit down every 5 minutes. My blood pressure is 118/75. My cholesterol is perfect. My doctor keeps asking me what I'm doing, because patients my age are usually on 6 or 7 medications, struggling to get out of a chair, complaining about constant pain. But I'm not, and I wasn't always this way. At 60, I was overweight, exhausted, pre-diabetic, on 4 medications, depressed, and convinced my best years were behind me. Then I made a decision that changed everything. I started 7 simple daily habits. Not a miracle drug, not expensive treatments, just 7 habits that anyone can do. And 22 years later, I'm living proof that how you age is a choice, not a sentence. My name is George Patterson. Everyone calls me Georgie. I'm 82 years old, and I live in San Diego, California with my wife Helen, who's 79 and just as healthy as I am. We've been married 57 years this August. Before I retired, I was a marine biologist. Spent 35 years studying kelp forests and coastal ecosystems along the California coast. It was physical work, diving, boat work, field work, and all weather. I loved it. But when I hit 60, everything fell apart. I retired thinking I'd finally relax, travel, enjoy life. Instead, I gained 40 pounds in the first year. I stopped moving. I spent my days on the couch watching TV. My back hurt, my knees hurt, my energy was gone. I was pre-diabetic, my blood pressure was 145/95, my cholesterol was through the roof, and my doctor put me on 4 different medications. I was 60 years old, and I felt 80. I thought this was just what getting old meant. Accept it, take your pills, slow down, wait to die. Until one day, my 5-year-old grandson said something that broke my heart and changed my life. We were at a family barbecue at my daughter's house in Carlsbad. My grandson Tommy, who was 5 at the time, asked me to play catch with him in the backyard. I tried. I threw the ball maybe 5 times and I was out of breath. My back hurt. I sat down on the patio chair and said, "Grandpa's too old for this, buddy. Go ask your dad." Tommy looked at me with these big, confused eyes and said, "Why are you so old, Grandpa? You're not that old." That question hit me like a freight train. Why was I so old at 60? My own grandfather had been active and sharp at 85. What had I done to myself? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, I have grandkids who won't remember me as anything but an old man who couldn't play with them. I might live another 20 or 30 years like this, tired, sick, medicated, useless, or I could do something about it. So I did. I didn't hire a personal trainer or join an expensive program. I didn't go on some extreme diet or start taking a bunch of supplements. I researched, I talked to my doctor, I read books on aging, longevity, and health, and I discovered something critical. The difference between people who age well and people who fall apart isn't genetics or luck. It's daily habits. Small, simple, consistent daily habits. I identified 7 habits that the healthiest 80 and 90-year-olds all seem to have in common, and I committed to doing all 7 every single day, no excuses.
That was 22 years ago. Today, at 82, I'm healthier than most 60-year-olds. I'm not special, I'm not lucky, I just did the work. And if I can do it starting at 60, overweight and out of shape, you can too. Let me tell you exactly what those 7 habits are, because they will change your life if you actually do them. Habit 1. Morning sunlight exposure. 30 minutes outside before 9 a.m. This was the first habit I started, and honestly, it seemed too simple to matter, but it's been one of the most powerful. Every single morning, within 30 minutes of waking up, I go outside and spend at least 30 minutes in natural sunlight, not through a window, actually outside. I walk around my neighborhood. I sit on my patio with coffee. I work in my garden. The key is getting direct sunlight on my eyes and skin before 9 a.m. Here's why this matters, and the science is fascinating. Morning sunlight exposure resets your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. That clock controls everything: sleep quality, hormone production, energy levels, mood, digestion, immune function. When your circadian rhythm is disrupted, everything goes wrong. You sleep poorly, you're tired all day, your metabolism slows down, you get depressed, you're more likely to get sick. Morning sunlight is the most powerful signal to tell your body it's daytime, time to be awake, alert, and energized. Research from Stanford University shows that getting bright light exposure within the first hour of waking dramatically improves sleep quality that night. A study from Northwestern University found that morning sunlight exposure reduces the risk of depression by 40% in older adults. Another study from Boston University showed that just 15 to 30 minutes of morning sun provides enough vitamin D to significantly improve bone health, immune function, and mood. Vitamin D deficiency is epidemic in people over 60, and it's linked to everything from falls and fractures to cognitive decline and cancer. When I started this habit at 60, I noticed changes within a week. I fell asleep faster, I slept deeper, I woke up naturally without an alarm, feeling actually rested. My energy during the day was more stable, no more afternoon crashes. My mood improved. Helen noticed I was less grumpy. It sounds too simple to be true, but morning sunlight is free medicine that most people ignore because they're inside all day. If you're over 60 and you're struggling with sleep, energy, or mood, start here. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm 30 minutes earlier if you have to, and go outside. Walk around the block, sit on your porch, just get outside in natural light before 9 a.m. Do this every single day for 2 weeks and watch what happens. You'll sleep better, you'll feel better. It's that simple. Habit 2. Protein-first breakfast, 30+ grams every morning. This habit saved my muscle mass and probably added years to my functional life. At 60, I was eating the typical American breakfast: toast, cereal, orange juice, coffee, lots of carbs, very little protein. I didn't know any better. Then I learned about sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. Starting around age 50, if you don't actively fight it, you lose about 1 to 2% of your muscle mass every single year. By 60, I had already lost a decade of muscle. By 70, if I didn't change, I'd be weak, frail, at high risk for falls and fractures. Muscle isn't just about looking good, it's about functional independence. Muscle is what gets you out of a chair, upstairs, out of bed. Lose too much muscle and you lose independence. The solution is simple. Eat significantly more protein, especially at breakfast. Research from the University of Texas and other institutions shows that older adults need much more protein than young people to maintain muscle, at least 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, and it needs to be distributed throughout the day, with at least 30 grams at each meal to trigger muscle protein synthesis. Most older people eat almost no protein at breakfast, a little at lunch, and all their protein at dinner. That's backwards. I completely changed my breakfast. Now, every single morning, I eat a high-protein breakfast with at least 30 grams of protein, and I eat the protein first, before anything else. My typical breakfast: 3 eggs scrambled with cheese, a cup of Greek yogurt with berries, and maybe a slice of whole grain toast.
That's about 35 to 40 grams of protein. Other days, protein smoothie with protein powder, Greek yogurt, berries, spinach, and almond milk. Other days, leftover chicken or salmon from dinner with vegetables. The key is protein first, 30 plus grams every single morning. The results were dramatic. Within 6 months of increasing my protein intake and eating protein first at every meal, I started regaining muscle mass. My strength increased. Tasks that used to be hard, carrying groceries, getting up from a low chair, climbing stairs, became easy again. My metabolism improved. I lost fat and gained muscle. My energy was more stable because protein keeps you full and your blood sugar steady, unlike carb-heavy breakfasts that spike your blood sugar and crash it 2 hours later, leaving you exhausted and hungry. If you're over 60 and you're getting weaker, losing muscle, feeling frail, look at your protein intake. Most older people are massively under-eating protein. Start tomorrow. Eat a high-protein breakfast, 30 plus grams, protein first, before carbs. Do this every day for a month and you will feel stronger. I promise you that. Habit 3. Daily resistance exercise, 15 minutes every single day. This is the habit that changed my body and my confidence. At 60, I wasn't exercising at all. I thought I was too old, too out of shape, too tired. I was wrong. Resistance exercise, using your muscles against resistance like weights, bands, or body weight, is the single most powerful thing you can do to stay strong, independent, and functional as you age. I started small. I bought a set of resistance bands on Amazon for $20. Every morning after my walk and breakfast, I did 15 minutes of resistance exercises in my garage. Basic moves: bicep curls, shoulder presses, rows, squats, chest presses. Nothing fancy. Just 15 minutes every single day, no excuses. Some days I felt great and pushed hard. Other days I was tired and went easy. But I did it every day. Consistency mattered more than intensity. Research backs this up completely. A study from Tufts University showed that older adults who did resistance training just twice a week for 12 weeks increased their strength by 30 to 40% and significantly improved balance, bone density, and functional ability. Another study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that resistance exercise reduces the risk of falls, the leading cause of injury and death in people over 65, by nearly 40%. The CDC reports that strength training twice a week reduces all-cause mortality in older adults by 23%.
My balance improved. I felt confident moving through the world. At 82, I still do 15 minutes of resistance exercise every single morning. I use bands, light dumbbells, and bodyweight exercises. I can do push-ups, I can do squats, I can carry my groceries, I can pick up my great-grandkids. That's freedom. If you're over 60 and you think you're too old for strength training, you're wrong. You're never too old. Start with the lightest resistance bands. Do 5 minutes if 15 feels like too much. Just start. Your future self will thank you. Habit 4. Hydration tracking. 64 to 80 ounces of water daily. This habit sounds boring, but chronic dehydration was destroying my health at 60, and I didn't even know it. Most older adults are chronically dehydrated because the thirst mechanism weakens with age. You literally don't feel thirsty even when your body desperately needs water. Dehydration causes fatigue, confusion, constipation, kidney problems, urinary tract infections, dizziness, and falls. I started tracking my water intake with a simple method. I fill a 32-ounce water bottle twice a day and make sure I finish both. That's 64 ounces minimum. On hot days or days I exercise more, I aim for 80 ounces.
I drink a full glass of water first thing in the morning before coffee. I drink water with every meal. I keep water with me everywhere. The difference was immediate. My energy improved. My skin looked better. My digestion improved. I stopped getting headaches. My thinking was clearer. My kidneys functioned better. My doctor commented on my improved kidney function tests. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that chronic dehydration is linked to increased risk of chronic kidney disease, urinary tract infections, and even cognitive decline in older adults. This is one of the easiest habits to implement. Get a reusable water bottle, fill it, drink it, repeat. If plain water is boring, add lemon or cucumber. Just drink water consistently throughout the day. Your body will thank you. Habit 5. Daily social connection, real interaction, every single day. This habit saved my mental health and probably extended my lifespan. At 60, after retiring, I was isolated. I'd lost my daily work interactions. I spent days alone at home. I was lonely and didn't even realize it. Loneliness is deadly. Research shows it's as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, early death. I made a rule. I must have meaningful social interaction with another human being every single day. Not texting, not scrolling Facebook. Real interaction. Face-to-face, phone call, video chat, whatever. Some days it's having coffee with Helen on the patio and actually talking. Some days it's calling one of my kids. Some days it's meeting a friend for lunch. Some days it's volunteering at the aquarium where I used to work, talking to visitors about marine life. The key is connection, genuine human connection, every single day. Research from Harvard's long-running study of adult development found that the quality of relationships is the strongest predictor of health, happiness, and longevity. People with strong social connections live longer, have better cognitive function, lower rates of depression, and even stronger immune systems.
A meta-analysis of 480 studies involving over 300,000 people found that strong social relationships increase likelihood of survival by 50%. This habit has brought so much joy into my life. I'm closer to my family, I've maintained old friendships and made new ones, I volunteer, I'm part of a community, I matter to people, and people matter to me. That sense of purpose and connection is what keeps me going. If you're over 60 and you're isolated or lonely, make this a priority. Call someone today, schedule a lunch date, join a club or volunteer group, connect with one person every single day. Your mental and physical health depend on it. Habit 6. Daily Brain Challenge. 15 minutes of cognitive stimulation. This habit keeps my mind sharp at 82. At 60, I noticed my memory wasn't as sharp. I'd forget names, lose my keys, walk into a room and forget why. I thought it was inevitable aging. It's not. Your brain is a muscle. Use it or lose it. Every day, I spend at least 15 minutes doing something cognitively challenging. Some days it's crossword puzzles or Sudoku. Some days I'm learning something new. I taught myself basic Spanish using Duolingo when I was 70. Some days I read non-fiction books on topics I know nothing about. Some days I play chess online. The key is novelty and challenge, doing something that makes your brain work, something slightly difficult, something new. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that cognitively stimulating activities reduce risk of cognitive decline and dementia. A study in neurology found that people who engaged in mentally stimulating activities had a 63% lower risk of developing dementia. Another study showed that learning a new skill, especially something complex like a musical instrument or a new language, creates new neural pathways and improves overall cognitive function. At 82, my mind is sharp. I remember names, I follow complex conversations, I learn new things. I'm not declining mentally because I'm actively challenging my brain every single day. This isn't luck, it's a habit. Start today. Do a crossword puzzle. Learn something new on YouTube. Read a challenging book. Play a brain game. Just 15 minutes a day of real cognitive challenge. Your brain will thank you. Habit 7. Evening gratitude practice. 3 things before bed. This final habit transformed my mental health and sleep quality. Every night before bed, I sit with Helen and we each say 3 things we're grateful for from that day. That's it. 3 things. They don't have to be big. I'm grateful for the sunshine today. I'm grateful that Tommy called. I'm grateful for that delicious dinner. Just 3 things. This simple practice rewires your brain away from negativity and toward appreciation. Research shows that regular gratitude practice reduces depression, improves sleep quality, increases happiness, and even improves physical health markers like blood pressure and immune function. A study from UC Berkeley found that people who kept gratitude journals slept better and longer. At 60, I was bitter, depressed, focused on everything I'd lost, my career, my youth, my health. Gratitude practice shifted my focus to what I still had and what was still good. 22 years later, I go to bed every night feeling peaceful, content, grateful. I sleep like a baby. I wake up positive. This habit costs nothing, takes 2 minutes, and changes everything. Start tonight. Before bed, think of 3 things, anything you're grateful for. Do this every night for a week. You'll sleep better, you'll feel better. Try it. The results after 22 years. These 7 habits, morning sunlight, protein-first breakfast, daily resistance exercise, hydration tracking, social connection, brain challenges, and evening gratitude transformed my life. At 60, I was on 4 medications, overweight, exhausted, depressed, and declining. At 82, I take 0 medications. My weight is healthy, my energy is great. I'm strong, sharp, happy, and independent. I play with my great-grandkids. I travel. I volunteer. I'm living my best life in my 80s because I made a choice at 60 to implement 7 simple daily habits. You can do this too. You don't need to be perfect. Start with 1 habit, master it, add another, build slowly. But start today, because how you age is a choice. You can decline or you can thrive. I chose to thrive. What will you choose?